Jeffrey's agitated. He stepped on the scale and he's went up 3 pounds. He wanted to cut, he wanted to lose weight. He just doesn't understand that the way he eats is why he can't lose weight. Adonis built his dream body and he maintains his lean, ripped physique through healthy eating behavior. Salted caramel chocolate balls. Peng. Oh, I just ate the entire box and 2 packets of crisps and the sweets, and we probably will have that cake later too. I look into the mirror and I'm so depressed and annoyed at myself that my body looks like shit and all this, like this love handle, this little titty fat that I've got. I didn't even enjoy most of those snacks. I wake up and there's wrappers just littered all over the floor. Now that was a normal day for me. I would wake up feeling so regretful and resentful for what I did and what I ate last night. And so in the morning time, I'd have a pretty good diet and, you know, I'd be tracking calories, eating some kind of healthy meal with protein, and then I'd go to the gym, and then straight after the gym, I'd smoke weed. I'd get intense munchies, bro. I was like a locust. Like, I'd clean out the cupboards, like, you know, the back of the cupboard sweets that you've had for like 3 months, bro. I'm the one who's eating them. But during all this time, even when I wouldn't smoke weed, there was one particular eating habit that I had that was absolutely horrible for my diet, and you probably do it too, and that's eating food, especially snacks, whilst distracting yourself. That's become completely normal for us. You eat most of your meals and most of your snacks while staring into the screen. And I know that this seems simple and you're probably thinking, okay, well, that's not such a big deal, just eating whilst watching stuff. That's what you do. You stick on a movie and you eat something, or you put on YouTube and you eat something. Although it's normal, well, there you go. It's normal. We don't want to be normal. Because when you do this, one, you're not even maximizing the enjoyment of the food. Let's say the food is going against your calories or your diet for the day. It's a chocolate bar, right? Don't eat the chocolate bar unless you're a little spurg who's addicted to sweeties. But maybe, you know, sometimes you're going to break your diet. Sometimes you're going to have like a little bit of a cheat. You're going to have some ice cream, fine. What I've been saying previously is that when you're going to go off your diet, please, at the very least, enjoy that food. Do not distract yourself. Like, I know that to the younger guys especially, I know that this seems crazy, but you can like enjoy some food whilst looking at the food and just doing nothing but just eating. Like, that's how humans have always ate. It's only in the last 10 years that we eat like zombies, just get stared into our screens, mouth breathing in the middle. How much enjoyment do you think you're really getting from this meal and the extra calories and the unhealthy junk food that you're having? Because when you're eating like this, like staring into your phone or the computer screen, you're not even enjoying it. You're not even mindful. You aren't even present for that taste. So you get all of the calories with absolutely minimal pleasure. And second, because you get less pleasure from the thing you're eating, you eat more of it. I guarantee that you will eat more of that food, the meal or the junk food or the sweets or the chocolate, if you're distracting yourself from it. Because when we eat junk food, we kind of want to reach like a certain satisfaction and pleasure level. And that satisfaction or the pleasure level is not based on how full we feel. It's just based on like how much of the taste that we got to enjoy. And so let's say we've got a chocolate bar again, but we eat most of this chocolate bar whilst intensely looking at something on YouTube or scrolling on social media. Well, then we haven't gotten that much pleasure, and that's why you eat the chocolate bar. It's 250 calories, bro. That's like half an hour of cardio. You eat that and you're just thinking like, oh, like I could probably eat another one. I'm kind of craving more right now. It's because you didn't even get to enjoy it. And finally, the third problem is that it distracts you from what you were watching anyway. Like, we're not supposed to multitask with anything we do. So if you're eating whilst you're watching my videos, or if you're eating whilst you're trying to learn something or do something, both of the things you're doing, eating and watching, eating and learning, get reduced. One of the most simple, most easy things you can do to improve your diet is to just mindfully eat. Mindful eating is kind of like a little form of meditation, like a different form of meditation. Imagine I've got a plate of food in front of me. So most people, including myself, even recently, even just my younger Hamza, I'd eat this food whilst looking at YouTube videos, right? That's unhealthy. Mindful eating is when we just have this plate of food and we're looking at the plate of food and we're like looking at each forkful and we're smelling it and we're tasting it, and as we're biting, we're just kind of like looking at the food, or we're just like fully here in the moment tasting it. And it's going to shock you, by the way. Most people haven't done this in a very long time. It's going to shock you when you do this, especially if you meditate. It is with this action of mindful eating that I have found that you truly see how often your mind generates bullshit thoughts, just thoughts irrelevant to what you're like. You'll find yourself just diving deep into a thought pattern that's completely irrelevant when you wanted to focus on this food. Like, meditation's nice, but this was the time when I truly realized like my brain literally thinks of bullshit like every second, bro. So here is the practical advice that you can implement immediately. Choose one meal in your day and start eating that mindfully. Make that the habit. So it's dinner, maybe it's lunch, it's breakfast, whatever it is, just eat it mindfully. Turn off the screens, don't look at anything, don't even listen to anything. Just think to yourself that you're going to completely focus on this food here, and that's your meditation session. And especially snacks and junk food. So the one meal should be like your healthy meal that you have for breakfast or something. But when you're snacking, when you're eating junk, when you're eating dessert, that's the time when you really, no matter where you're eating the dessert, really focus on it. Because if you're going to eat that unhealthy food, you know, it would be better if we didn't, but sometimes you do want to enjoy some ice cream or some cake. If you're gonna eat that stuff, just make sure you're actually getting the enjoyment from it. Now, the only exception that I would say to this advice of mindfully eating, of eating with no distractions, is if you're somewhat like a bodybuilder like I am. You eat quite a lot of calories and you've got some big ass meals of like healthy stuff that's kind of like ultra filling. Now, that's the exception I would give, is that sometimes you kind of need to distract yourself from like some certain meals. Like for example, sometimes I'll have a big bowl of oats, or other times I'm having 600-700 grams of potatoes. Like that's the type of shit that I need to distract myself from. So those are the meals where I found that it is beneficial to watch something with, to essentially distract yourself. But generally, you will at least have one meal a day where it would take you 2-3 minutes to eat it, and you would get like such a bigger benefit if you weren't just distracting yourself from it. And for some extra motivation, you can just go online and just look at some of the studies on mindful eating. It's extremely promising. It's kind of like just meditation for addictions. It's one of those things where when you look at it and you look at mindful eating compared to every other style of dieting, every other style of your eating pattern, you're just thinking like, why the isn't anyone else talking about this? This is more effective than anything else right now. Same with meditation, but this type of shit, like, I mean, what the do I even say to that? The meditation and mindfulness, it doesn't really make many people profit, and so you won't be taught this in schools. You won't be like recommended this advice by your doctor or anything, because they'd rather just like, I don't know, we're getting into a conspiracy theory. If you boys want to hear me rant about these government structures that we have around us, maybe I will one day, but up until then, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.